Good morning, everybody. It is another day, another issue. So, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. I had a great weekend, and except for the fact that I can not stream live on YouTube, and then this morning I attempted to stream on D Live and had a glitch. So, today's episode of the Morning Night Live will not be so live after all. But I am here, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff to go through. Plus, I have a bunch of stuff that I have a ton of articles today, but I'm not going to get to them all because I want to just talk a little bit about my my YouTube jail, so to speak. I think I figured out what the problem is, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Go through some, touch on some of the headlines of the day, and then we're going to call it a day. And hopefully, you'll enjoy this. Not so live, but on videotape, as we used to say in the olden days when everyone used tape. But anyway, that's going to be the show today, and we'll do that right after the intro. Johnny, play the intro, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America. It's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight.
Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Monday, the 26th of April, 2021, and I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Although I can't tell because there's something missing right over here. What's missing? Something. Oh, it's you, a live audience. Well, I'm going to do my best. Hopefully tomorrow I will have the show up and running on D Live for the rest of the duration of my YouTube jail. Now, speaking of YouTube jail, I think I've figured out what the problem was. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, I have a copyright strike, a hard strike by someone who put a strike on a scheduled stream that I was going to do sometime over the weekend. I scheduled for Sunday night, and I went to go do my stream Friday live from the West End Lounge in Des Moines, Iowa. And I couldn't get on the internet. I couldn't get my stream to start. And I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I thought, well, maybe I'm having a glitch with Streamlabs Mobile. So instead, I tried to do it through YouTube Mobile. And lo and behold, it said, you're not able to do any live streaming because you have a copyright strike on your channel. And I'm like, a copyright strike for what? And I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. So then I had to go dig into the YouTube studio and all that stuff and try to figure out what's going on. And it was a copyright strike for a scheduled stream that I had set up really late in the weekend so that I could stream it whenever time I wanted to and not have you all waiting in the chat with right over here. Well, as I find out that I'm like, wait a minute, how could it be a copyright strike for that stream, which was in the future? And so I've been going through my brain and going back and forth with YouTube. Now, YouTube did not give me a copy or even notify me of this copyright strike. And so I'm like, all I knew is they gave me an email address to write to. So I'm thinking, okay, it was something about the Drake relays, which is why I was in Des Moines, Iowa. And I thought, oh, Mel, maybe it's because I thought maybe it was Drake University had a copyright strike because the name of the stream was live from the Drake relays. And they're very protective of their brand. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's it. And so I replied to the person in the email kind of in that manner with the idea that maybe it was because it was going to be a live stream from Drake, but from that area, but I wasn't really going to be in the track meet. I know they have broadcast rights. And so I approached her from that. And then later I'm like, well, wait a minute. After I sent this email to this person saying, hey, I haven't even streamed this. How can you put a copyright strike on a future live stream that doesn't have any content. And they haven't replied, and then YouTube hasn't replied, and I was like, then I thought, oh, wait a minute, maybe it's not that. So I did a dispute through YouTube, which is the procedure through there, saying, how can I have a copyright strike on a video or stream that has no content yet? And I got a reply from them. Maybe I should show that on the screen, because this is fascinating. I probably should have had this ready. In my email, in my Gmail, my PDawgKnight, let me open that up. The answer I got from YouTube. Please open here. There we go. So from YouTube, I got this. Oh, hang on a second. I should probably set up this. Let me make sure I do this right. All right, so I get this from YouTube. Dear PDawgKnight, thank you for your counter notification. Unfortunately, it's unclear to us whether you have a valid reason for filing counter notification, so we won't be able to honor your request. Counter notifications are only used when content has been removed as a result of a mistake or misidentification, which may include exceptions like fair use. Keep in mind that using this process may result in the claimant filing a lawsuit against you for copyright infringement. So you should evaluate your legal position before filing a counterclaim. Well, I don't know. First of all, again, remind you, I haven't seen the claim in the first place, but I was assuming it was for something that it was not. I was assuming it was for content in the video that did not exist, mind you. Now, what they say, what you can do now, ask the copyright owner for retraction or simply wait for your strike to expire. If you are sure that your video has been misidentified as infringing and are willing to possibly defend your claim in court, you can resubmit your counter notification. Be sure to explain in detail how you have all the necessary rights to the video's content. And now again, notice it says rights to the video's content. There's no content. If you don't know or want more information about copyright, please visit our help center. I don't care. I know. I understand copyright. And then that's from the YouTube team. And then they just have a copy of my counter notification. Now here's what I wrote to them in the counter notification. There is no copyrighted material in this content. There is no content. This seems to be a preemptive strike on a future yet to be broadcast live stream event. The planned live stream was not going to be broadcast from the event the copyright protects, but from peripheral events near the copyright protected event, none of which are owned by the copyright holder. I have already notified the contact person with this information. If the issue is with the name of the yet to be broadcasted live stream, I have already agreed to change the name. I respectfully ask who it may concern to remove this strike. I swear, and then that just the other stuff that you click boxes and it fills in the rest of your thing. So, and then now I hadn't gotten anything back with them, but I went and so I went back and I did another counter going pretty much saying the same thing. And then when I got back home last night and I was about to go to sleep, it hit me. It hit me what this was probably about. I had made a thumbnail for that stream. And stupidly, usually when I pick pictures for my thumbnails, I usually pick things that I know are not copyrighted, okay? I try not to use screenshots of broadcasts of people and things like that really aren't, they're photographs of that I can say are my own or whatever. But this time I needed a picture of Drake relays, and I just did a Google search and took a picture from the internet. And in the background, you know how my thumbnails are me reacting to whatever is in a picture in the background, and so I put this picture in the background and did my title and everything over that. I'm pretty confident now that that is what the copyright strike's for, the thumbnail. Now, some of you might say, oh, that's so petty, that's so petty. But you know what? I have no problem with that. I understand that the photograph was probably copyrighted, and I didn't think about it when I was making the thumbnail, and I'm convinced that what it was. And it's a runner's website that did this strike on me, and I don't have any problem with that. But the problem I have is that YouTube, rather than notifying me and giving me the opportunity to take it down, because that's the law. The law is the person who holds copyright can say, you know what, we need that taken down. That is our property. And I should, by law, have 24 hours to take it down. I didn't get that opportunity because I never knew that they had made the claim. YouTube never sent me the information. I'm not blaming YouTube. I'm not blaming the copyright holder, but it's a flaw in their system that someone can claim something and that you do not have the opportunity to fix it. You only have opportunity to fix it after the fact when YouTube is already punishing you. So YouTube takes away part of the functionality of their website from you as a punishment for something that you're more than happy to fix, but they don't give you the opportunity to fix it. And they also take the claimant, and the claimant doesn't have any obligation to even answer my request. And so I've sent 3 different emails to that claimant. First of all, the first 2 emails I said, you know what? How I'm not sure how you are doing a copyright claim on something that doesn't exist because I didn't know what the claim was for. And then, the third email, it just had to be, oh my God, this must be about a photograph. Well, and obviously YouTube's already taken it down, so they don't have to respond to me as far as their part goes. They got what they wanted. They got the offending material of theirs taken down. And, I'm kind of at their mercy if they are even going to respond to me. And I've already sent 2 other letters, like, going, what are you talking about? And anyway, so what I do fault YouTube for is the fact that they did not notify me of the copyright claim. Gave me no opportunity to take it down myself. I absolutely would have done it immediately. And I had this claim been presented to me, but it wasn't. In fact, it still hasn't. I'm still, this is still all speculation, but it took me a while. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? And so anyway, that's that. So I'm going to go around and around. Hopefully at some point this person I've already sent 3 emails to, responds to me, but I'm not crossing my fingers. They do have a Twitter. This running website has a Twitter handle, has a Twitter account. So if I can't get through to them by email, I'll try again through Twitter and see if I can beg and plead and ask them to at least remove their claim, since it's a moot point now. Hopefully they'll do it, but again, they don't have to. Anyway, so that's what's going on with YouTube, and we'll see how that goes. And I would, since you can't comment over here, maybe you can comment in the comment section and tell me what you think of that. It's perfectly, but I'm going to tell you right now, perfectly legit. Took me a long time to figure it out, and that's how it goes. I mean, I made the mistake, and but again, the only thing that annoys me the most is that I've never given an opportunity to rectify the mistake, and I have a content strike on my YouTube channel now. 3 strikes, you're out. You know how that goes. So now I've got to make sure that, go back, look through thumbnails, see if there's anything that are possible copyright infringement things, or that could be that someone would do a strike on. Most of these will not, but made a couple fixes just to make sure and to be safe. So that's how it goes. Anyway, so let's get into the news today because there's a whole bunch, and I'm going to try to get through some of it. This show's not going to be the normal 90 minutes. But I should be able to fly through it, unfortunately, because this disappointment. I love interacting with you all when I can, and you're not here. You're not here. Anyway, so let's check out the news today. Now, just some of the breaking news this morning that I found interesting. In New York, a bunch of synagogues were vandalized over what they call brazen attacks over the weekend, and they've released surveillance video of this, and the Hate Crime Task Force has a solid lead on the vile acts, according to the mayor. Authorities in New York City are looking for the suspect who vandalized 4 Jewish synagogues. That's an interesting way to put that. 4 synagogues or 4 Jewish houses of worship. Jewish synagogues is redundant, but that's okay. In what the Anti-Defamation League is calling a brazen series of attacks. Police released surveillance footage of one attack, which took place on Saturday about 10:45 p.m. The suspect threw rocks at windows of the Young Israel of Riverdale Synagogue in the Bronx, shattering the glass, the New York Police Department said. The video showed the man repeatedly throwing objects and then kicking in the glass at a section where it hadn't shattered. Here's one of the videos right here. I'm going to full screen it here. You can kind of see what's going on here. And so this guy's throwing rocks at the synagogue here, breaking the windows with a rock. A vile attack. This is, FTG to this guy. Now, we know that, I'm not even going to start. It's interesting still how when they talk about these kinds of things, they still try to frame it with a white supremacist narrative. Now, this person of ambiguous melanin content, as far as these pictures go, if it follows the pattern, what's been happening in New York City, well, you're probably not going to hear a whole lot about this when they arrest the person. But anyway, 3 other synagogues, all in Riverdale, were also targeted and had broken windows due to thrown rocks, according to police. I don't know if you can see the picture there. All the synagogues in the Riverdale neighborhood have increased their security. And reported ABC News station WABC. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio tweeted Sunday that the NYPD's Hate Crime Task Force has a solid lead on the vile acts of anti-Semitism. The mayor vowed to take swift actions against the perpetrators, adding, if you have any more information on this case, contact the NYPD right away. And then the Bronx, more people have chimed in. You can check out the article. It'll be in the links after the show. But the Bronx Borough president also added his 2 cents. Scott Richmond, director of the New York and New Jersey Anti-Defamation League, put in his 2 cents. But this is terrible. And I hope that they find this jackass and prosecute him for his crimes. But, it's just one of those things that they're probably going to catch this guy and he'll be arrested, and then they will find a reason to let him go, and then he'll probably do something worse next time. Who knows? Well, it depends. It depends on if it depends on. Well, never mind. I'm not even going to say it. You know where I'm going with this, though. You know where I'm going. They might or might release him based on this lack or excess of melanin. Anyway, all right, moving on. Other headlines this morning. In the Washington Examiner, the Supreme Court has. Hang on a second here. Oh, it's not a fit. Holy smokes! It's when I'm not doing this live, it's still hard to do. The Supreme Court has declined a religious liberty dispute between California and Texas. Now, this is one of those things when there's a dispute between states, it's kind of the Supreme Court's first jurisdiction on many of these items, but in this particular case, the Supreme Court declined the case challenging California's ban on state-funded travel to Texas and other states that allow Christian adoption and foster care agencies to refuse service to gay and transgender couples. On Monday, the court shut down the case in an unsigned order. Justice Samuel Alito dissented, joined by Clarence Thomas, writing that he did not have any opinions on the facts of the case, but that he was displeased that the court did not exercise its original jurisdiction powers, meaning that when states have a dispute between states, those are automatically heard in the Supreme Court. He says, I express no review regarding any of those claims, but I respectfully dissent from the court's refusal to even permit the filing of the Texas complaint, Alito wrote. Now, this dispute arose out of a 2016 ban in which California forbade state-sponsored or funded travel to any state that passes laws voiding or impeding non-discrimination protections for people on the basis of sexual orientation or identity. In 2017, Texas passed a law ordering state agencies and local governments against taking any adverse action against child placement groups that decline to serve couples based on the group's sincerely held religious beliefs. So in Texas, when they're doing adoptions, there are religious organizations that won't do adoptions for gay or whatever, transgender people or whatever. I'm not 100% sure. And Texas has just declined to take adverse action, to decline to sue those organizations, citing their religious freedom. California says, we're not doing that. We're not allowed, they see this law as the declination, I don't know if that's a word, to prosecute groups like that as adverse to Californians. So California put its ban on 10 states, including Texas. In its lawsuit against Texas, Texas argued that the ban reflected religious animus and that it violated the Constitution's Privileges and Immunities Clause, Interstate Commerce Clause, and guarantees of equal protection. So you can kind of get up to speed on that. It's interesting that the Supreme Court would not take the case, and that's obviously in the news today. All right, let's keep going here. Since I don't have chat, I don't have super chat to look at. I miss you. You're not there. Hopefully I'll have you right there tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll get there. We'll get back to it. Now, the Supreme Court did take up another case, however, and this one involving everyone's favorite subject, guns. It's taking up its first gun case in 10 years. Now, that's fascinating that they're doing that here. I'm going to squeeze this back onto the page and off of that a little bit. Okay, let's fix that. There we go. This On Monday, the Supreme Court decided to take up its first Second Amendment case in more than 10 years. The court decided to take up the case New York State Rifle et al. Versus Corlett, focusing on the question of whether the state's denial of petitioners' applications for concealed carry license for self-defense violated the Second Amendment. Shall not infringe. I wonder. 6-3. All right, Robert Nash and Brandon Koch applied for licenses to carry firearms outside their homes in New York. SCOTUS blog reported the licensing officer denied their request after determining that, under New York law, they had failed to show proper cause to carry a firearm in public for the purpose of self-defense because they did not demonstrate a special need for self-defense that distinguished them from the general public. Oh, this is the only celebrities and highfalutin government officials should be able to carry weapons and not just you normal old weirdo normie kind of people. Isn't that special? Lower courts ruled against Nash and Koch, but Nash, Koch, and the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association asked the Supreme Court to take up the case in order to clarify lower court decisions on the strength of Second Amendment protections outside the home. This case will give the Supreme Court an opportunity to issue a powerful defense of the Second Amendment rights. Yet, if the court does rule in favor of the New York Rifle, it will also exacerbate Democratic demands for limits on gun ownership. Yeah, ship. Easy for me to say. And it'll probably, if this is one of those cases where the Supreme Court will, they want to pack the court. They want to add people to the court so they can get their, so they can have their temper tantrums obeyed. This is one of those cases that Democrats just love to say, well, they stole the court from us and we should have our way, so let's just add more people to the court. Great. All right, moving on. Let's see, what's this one? Oh, this is from last week, but which I didn't get to, but this was from the Discord. By the way, join our Discord and get lots of spicy news put up by some of the greatest people on the internet. Gunfox61 and Asan in particular put a lot of articles up, but it's a lot of good reading in there. Biden warns Americans if they don't get the jab, the stab, you know what I'm talking about? The stupid 19 stab, they might have to cancel 4th of July. What? Motherfucker. President Biden on Wednesday warned Americans they may have to cancel small outdoor gatherings on the 4th of July if there's a slowdown of COVID-19 vaccinations. What the bloody hell are you talking about, sir? In fact, we didn't cancel our gathering on the 4th of July last year, and and Joe Biden has no say whatsoever what different states do and what they say you can and cannot do. Is he going to try to... Oh, my gosh, Joe Biden. Come on. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Anyway, more than 51% of American adults have received at least one vaccination dose, according to CDC data, indicating that herd immunity and the pandemic's end are near. Yes. Oh. But Biden said at the White House that he's not yet comfortable saying people can hold small outdoor gatherings on Independence Day. Who the hell does he think he is? He's not the king. He's not the dictator. He's just the president who answers to the people. Sort of. They don't think so. They think they just have to. Anyway, back on March 11th, this is Biden speaking, I outlined a vision of what America could look like by the 4th of July, an America that was much closer to normal life that we left behind more than a year ago, Biden said. He warned, this was his warning, to celebrate our Independence Day from this virus on July 4th with family and friends in small groups. We still have more to do in the months of May and June. We all need to mask up until the number of cases go down, until everyone has a chance to get their shot. Oh gosh. That he's going to be talking he talked about it. He had remember that prime time address he had in March where he's like, maybe you'll be able to have small gatherings of family in your backyard for 4th of July. Oh, you know what's funny? Because last year, I'm not going to read the rest of this. Remember last year, the 4th of July? Y'all remember last year, 4th of July? A lot of places, they canceled their 4th of July fireworks shows, especially in the city of Los Angeles. And do you ever remember watching that video from the helicopters in Los Angeles? How, the city canceled their fireworks display, but the people said, oh, hell no, we're going to have our own fireworks displays. And they were blasting fireworks all over the city of Los Angeles. It looked like, well, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know. It looked like, Independence Day. That's what it looked like. And they were firing off fireworks like crazy. And I thought it was fantastic. That was kind of what we did too. We had a bunch of people together. We had a fireworks show and we got on the boat and did some jet skiing and all that stuff at our friend's house up in the lake. And I don't think that Biden can stop people from enjoying their 4th of July and having the barbecue in the backyard. And I think everyone's just going to give you a big fat, heck you, Joe. Heck you. I'm trying not to say it out loud. I'm trying to keep this one rather profanity free, but we'll see if I can get through the whole show. Anyway, funny thing too, as I got back from Iowa from the Drake relays, did I want to tell Drake relay stories? I don't know. Let's put it this way. Here's what I did. Okay. Went down to Iowa, saw a bunch of my college buddies, and we pretty much spent the whole weekend in bars drinking beer and other things, and had a great time. Although I'm still a little hurting, because Saturday night we were up to like 5 a.m. But anyway, not normally my style, but I had more than a few cocktails this weekend. Anyway, the other thing that I want to note is when I went to Iowa. Now in Minnesota, the people are pretty strict, or excuse me, about the mask mandates, at least indoors. Now there's no real mandates to have masks outdoors, and as we know now, that's kind of a silly thing anyway. But it was a marked difference. I don't know what market. What the hell is market? It was a marked difference. Driving down to Iowa, like I'm driving from the Twin Cities down Des Moines, I-35, and as I got about an hour and an hour, you go through Clear Lake, which is and exit to Mason City or whatever. And at that exit, I stopped. I'm like, I'm gonna grab just an ice cream cone, right? I'm just like, I'm tired of driving. I just need to take a little rest. It's been 3 hours. I'm gonna stop and get an ice cream cone. And so I go to a Culver's. Now that's if you're not familiar with Culver's, if you live somewhere that doesn't have Culver's, it's a burger joint that has frozen custard. I'll just call it ice cream, but it's frozen custard. And they're pretty popular around here in the Midwest. I stop at the Culver's, and the drive-through line is like, holy crap, wrapped all the way around the building and all the big ass drive-through line. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna park in the parking lot, and I'm gonna go inside and get me an ice cream. Plus, I had to pee. Anyway, so I get out of the car, and I'm put out of habit because in Minnesota, if you're going to go into a building, any building, whether it's a restaurant or whatever, you get out of your car and you're like, oh, I got to go back and get my mask, start to put my mask on. I grab the mask and I stepped out of the truck, and I look over, and right over there, there's a family, like a family and maybe some extended family, like 8 people. And they're all walking towards the Culver's, and not a single one of them are wearing a mask. I'm like, huh? Nobody, no, they're not. They're not wearing masks. And I watch them. I'm watching them walk across the parking lot. I'm thinking, okay, they all got their masks in their pockets, and they're about to put them on. And they're walking across the parking lot. And I'm like, they're not putting none of them put their mask on. They walked right in the restaurant. Not a single person put a mask on. They just walked right in, and I'm like, oh, you don't have to do that here like we do in Minnesota. I'm like, well, that's refreshing. Now, it seemed like they all knew each other and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk over to this Culver because I've already had Stupid 19, right? I've already had Stupid 19. And so I should have the antibodies in my body because even the CDC will tell you that you probably do. And I've had it recent enough where they're probably not dwindled down. I'm probably going to be okay if I walk in that. And I know I don't have it anymore. So I'm not a danger to anybody. And even if I talk about the minute chance of getting. Anyway, so I walk over to the door of the restaurant thinking, okay, I'm just going to take a peek in here before. Got my mask in my pocket anyway, just in case. And I look inside the restaurant. There's people all in the restaurant. No mask. None of the people standing in line at the counter to get their food. None of the people sitting down. I'm like, oh, I'm allowed to. I was starting to sing that George Michael song, Freedom, I won't let you down, freedom, please don't give me a freedom, you got to give for what you take. I'm like, I can walk in here without a mask and not feel bad. Oh, but all the people who worked there were wearing masks. But still, and there were signs on the door that said, please wear a mask if you, whatever. But in the Mason City, Iowa, Clear Lake, I'm like, you walk around with no mask in Iowa. And then, like, look, when I got to point, some people wore a mask inside, some people didn't. But you kind of, you take your choice, you take your chances. They asked you to wear a mask in the hotel I stayed in, like when you're in the hallways and stuff. And I did. I mean, people kind of did for the most part, but there were some people who didn't. But it was just like, oh my gosh. I just felt that burst of autonomy going, oh, I know I'm not a danger to anyone. I know I'm not going to get it again. And even if I do, my case was mild when I got it anyway. And it's going to be even more mild because if I did get it, but I'm not going to get it. I'm like, freedom, freedom, freedom. You got to give for what you take. Freedom, I won't let. And I was like, oh, it was refreshing to be able to do that. And then, we were in the bars and stuff and all weekend, and the bars were not jam-packed like they normally are during the Drake Relays. Let me explain, too, the way. Drake Relays is for Drake students. See, we didn't have a big football program, but we had this world-famous track meet every year, the Drake Relays. And so if you went to Drake, we treated the Drake Relays like most schools would treat homecoming, like a football homecoming or whatever. During football season, everyone have homecoming. Drake Relays, that's how Drake students treat the Drake Relays. So a lot of alumni go back, and it's not even to go to the track meet necessarily, because I mean I've been to a track meet once in the 35 years since I went to Drake and started at Drake and now, but it's 35 years, well, almost 35 years. But a lot of alumni come back, and it's a big party, and they have all kinds of events very similar to a homecoming at any other school, but they just do it during the track season, because it's this huge event that Drake puts on. It's big. It's a big damn deal, right? So anyway, had a great time, hung out with a handful of my college buddies, and we just basically got to laugh and joke about all the stuff that we did in college, and there were plenty of things to laugh about, even new things that happened that I'm not going to tell my college stories because it's probably not appropriate here. Anyway, as far as the 4th of July, Mr. Biden, Mr. President Joseph Biden, I'm not changing my 4th of July plans. Sorry, we're going to have more than a few friends and together for the 4th of July and probably shoot off a ton of fireworks and, up at our friend's lake home. All right, let's keep going here because I'm going to try to keep this under the time limit that I have set for myself. Other things in the news, there's more Asian hate crime that we're talking about still. The New York City Police Department has released photos of suspects accused of repeatedly stomping elderly Asian man's head. This was a terrible attack in New York City. The attacker relentlessly kicks his helpless victims at least 6 times, then casually walks away as the victim was motionless on the sidewalk. This is a terrible story, but again, it's just unfortunate. It's this is the photos of you if you're in the New York area. We're looking for this man. The NYPD released photos of the suspect who allegedly attacked 61-year-old Yao Pan Na. Ma was collecting cans as a way to make ends meet. And then, let's see, the video of the assault on Friday, April the 23rd, approximately 8:20, when a male Asian was struck, causing him to fall to the ground. He was then kicked multiple times in the head. Man repeatedly stomped Ma's head in East Harlem on Friday. Ma is in critical condition. The disturbing 12-second video released Saturday by the NYPD shows the 61-year-old victim being repeatedly kicked around 8:20 p.m. on Friday after being attacked from behind and at the foot of a 19-story apartment building under construction at 3rd Avenue and East 125th. The attacker relentlessly kicks his helpless victim at least 6 times and casually walks away as the victim was motionless on the sidewalk as a steady stream of cars passed, the clip shows. EMS transported the victim, who suffered severe head trauma, to Harlem Hospital, where he is listed in critical but stable conditions, police said. Ma lost his job due to the pandemic. He collected cans as a way to make money for his family. And then CBS 2 in New York spoke to Ma's wife, Bojin Shen, spent much of Sunday praying. The 57-year-old is experiencing deep sorrow as her husband Yao Pan Ma fights for his life in a Manhattan hospital following the brutal beating. I'm not going to show you the beating. It's the video of that incident is in this article, which will be in the tabs down below after the show, or after the show. When I post this show to the internet, I will have all these articles listed on one tab in the description down below. Let's keep going though, because I'm going to get through this. Here we go. Let me move it so it's visible. This one's another terrible one, but they released body cam of a police shooting. The officer who is the subject of this investigation now is seen yelling, "I don't want to shoot you." Video shows police officer fatally shooting a man who charged at him. They say 2 butcher knives. They look like, big kitchen knives. I don't know why they call them butcher knives, but anyway. Body cam footage shows a man armed with 2 butcher knives charging a Nashville police officer early Saturday morning during a traffic stop before being fatally shot. The 4-year veteran officer, Christopher Royal, was patrolling in Nashville, Tennessee around midnight when he ran the plates of a Mercedes sedan and noticed the plates were registered to another vehicle. Police spokesman Dan Aaron said at a press conference Saturday. Royal conducted the vehicle stop, inquiring about the license plate issue, and the spokesman told reporters the driver of the vehicle complied and pulled over, according to police. The driver presented no issues at any time, the spokesman said. The passenger, however, immediately got out of the Mercedes with 2 large butcher knives, 1 in each hand, and began running around erratically. Video footage shows the unidentified passenger exited the car before Royal can be heard screaming, "Drop the knife." The driver of the Mercedes can also be heard shouting, "What are you doing?" to his passenger. Royal backed up as the passenger then opened the driver's door to the police vehicle while Royal shouts, "Get out of the car, drop the knife, drop the knife." Royal can be heard pleading with the passenger to drop his weapons, telling him, "I don't want to shoot you," as the passenger continues to run around with the knives. Royal is seen retreating from the situation, but is charged by the passenger. Royal eventually fires what appeared to be 3 shots, although police have not yet confirmed precisely how many shots were fired. "I don't want to have to do that. I did not want to have to do that," Royal said seconds later. The passenger was transferred to Vanderbilt Medical Center, where he died shortly after, according to his spokesman. And then just gives you some. Now, I don't know if there were any protests about this shooting. This was I believe, an African American man who shot. It doesn't say in this article, but I think the video shows it. But I'm not gonna show the video just because this is YouTube. But the video of this particular incident is in the article again, as we, if you want to check it out. It's cut and dry. The guy's running at him with 2 big ass knives. And I'm like, holy crap! What is he thinking? Is it suicide by cop or something? I don't know, but. Yeah, he ended up being shot and taken down. All right, let's move on. The CDC, So now there's the former head of the FDA, like many Americans, believes that the CDC should probably get with the program and drop the outdoor mask recommendations, which I think is going to happen because they're not the only ones saying it. When we have Slate writing articles about the fact that we should be getting rid of these stupid mask mandates, that something's coming. Anyway, let me fix this. There you go. Dr. Scott Gottlieb, the former commissioner of the Food and Drug Administration, called on federal health officials to lift mask guidelines for outside use now that more than half of the adults in the United States have received at least 1 dose of the stupid 19 stab. As conditions improve, policymakers must show they're willing to ease restrictions as swiftly as they impose them. Oh my gosh, that's a bell ringer right there. I'm going to repeat that sentence. As conditions improve, policymakers must show they're willing to ease restrictions as swiftly as they impose them. Yeah, you know how they're so slow in the draw to ease restrictions? And Especially, it's funny because the states that have seem to be doing okay, but of course, they're all southern states. It might be a weather thing. Who knows if it's a weather thing in Texas and Florida that they're not getting this rash of cases. But you know what? Obviously, causation. What's that saying about causation and correlation? See, now I don't have you in the chat right here to tell me that. But anyway. More than half of all states require people to wear masks at all public settings, despite evidence that the pandemic is receding. Vaccination rates in the U.S. have remained high, with about 3 million shots administered each day. Nearly 54% of all U.S. adults have received at least one shot, and more than 36% of adults have been fully vaccinated. Meanwhile, the case rates are falling even as highly transmissible variants of the virus circulate, signaling the vaccination campaign success. Quote, this is the time to revisit rules on masking and distancing in low-risk outdoor settings like parks, sports venues, Gottlieb said. Easing these rules would move more activity outdoors, which reduces viral transmission. It's funny how that just seems logical, but there are states that are fighting that idea. And, because it continues, many governors have resisted lifting outdoor masking rules, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, good for him. We need more Scott Gottlieb and less Dr. Fauci. Oh, wait, I'm going to make this so you can see it a little better. And less Dr. Fauci. Like that, huh? You see what I got there? See that? I got my hat yesterday. Or actually it came Saturday while I was gone. It came when I was gone, and I'm like, I could have worn this in Iowa. I'm gonna see. Some people found it kind of funny. I told them about it, but by the way, if you can get the new Resist Fauci line at PDawgKnight.live, just hit the merch tab. By the way, you can. Hey, by the way, I'm not live, but you can still support the show, You still can. And when I say support the show, I don't mean necessarily throwing dollars at PDawg. Doesn't even take that. But this particular video, because it's not a stream anymore, this particular video, if you could share this far and wide, would that make me happy? I miss being live today. By the way, when I do the live streams on DLive, hopefully for the rest of the week and for the rest of the time that I'm in YouTube jail, I will post the stream on YouTube also. But you can find me on DLive. It's my same thing, DLive/ it's DLive.tv/ PDawgKnight, no punctuations in between, just PDawg, DAWG, Knight, KNIGHT. If you get on DLive, they do have notifications. Actually, their notifications work better than YouTube sometimes. But, you can sign up there, or you can just come check it out. I will put notifications out on Twitter when I do go live, and or at least I'll give you a warning sign. Same time. It's the same time every day, so when I stream. It's 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT, Monday through Friday. Join me on DLive. But if you want to get the hats, the cups, the T-shirts, I got a hoodie, I got a sweatshirt with Resist Fauci, either the circle design or the Che Fauci, huh? They have the Che Fauci shirts too. You can check those out at PDawgKnight.live. There's a merch tab up in the upper right-hand corner that will take you to that. And then other ways you can support the channel, again, share the streams, hit the like stream, the video, hit the like button when it comes on YouTube. You can do, if you want to do donations still, Streamlabs 24 hours a day. And then also, Cashapp and Venmo. There's links for those down in the description if you want to support the channel. But again, supporting the channel right now is just making sure that I don't lose momentum by just sharing the video out. Say, check this out. Check this guy out. You know what I mean? Check him out. All right, let's move on. What's the other thing? Oh, Val Demings, the Democrat from Florida, former police officer, former police chief in, I can't remember what city she is, but she actually, Ma'Khia Bryant, the girl who unfortunately met her demise when she was going to stab the hell out of another woman. Well, Val Demings even says that the officer in that case seemed to have responded responsibly responsibly, even though they're doing the George Floyd police reform bill in Congress. So she was on Face the Nation. I'm not gonna play the video, but you can check her appearance on Face the Nation in this particular article. Representative Val Demings, Democrat of Florida, said Sunday on CBS Face the Nation that she thought the officer who fatally shot Ma'Khia Bryant in Columbus, Ohio, responded as he was trained to do. Anchor John Dixon said, "Let me ask you about the George Floyd Policing Act and this awful incident, Ma'Khia Bryant in Ohio." So, as I understand it, under the legislation, federal officials, police officers, they will be restrained from using excessive force unless a third party was in danger and unless they couldn't de-escalate. Those seems to be the facts in the Bryant case, which means that under the standards set in the Floyd Policing Act, the officer in that case seems to have acted as they were trained and supposed to do. Demings responded, "Well, you know, John, when I served as a police chief, what I prayed for daily was that my police officers would respond as they are trained to do." Now, after every incident, we would have to go back and look at our policies and make sure that the policies met the moment. But look, I worked as a social worker with foster care children, so it's a sad, sad moment for me. But I also was a patrol officer and was out there on the street having to make those split-second decisions. You know, now everybody has the benefit of Everyone has the benefit of slowing the video down and seizing the perfect moment. The officer on the street does not have that ability. He or she has to make those split-second decisions, and they're tough. But the limited information that I know in viewing the video, it appears that the officer responded as he was trained to do, with the main thought of preventing a tragedy and a loss of life of the person who is about to be assaulted. So, I must give Val Demings credit. She is spot on. And by the way, Val Demings is a lovely black female congresswoman from Florida. I don't agree with her politics, though. I don't really agree with anything. I don't agree with a whole lot she says, but she's spot on this one. All right, let's keep going because I'm going to get a lot more done. Let's see here. Speaking of the Ma'Khia Bryant case, well, another officer in our great United States of America, well, he's being investigated for this now, or people are calling for his investigation for his quick comeback wit. Let me just show you the video. Hopefully it'll be here, because a Washington D.C. police officer had a savage response to a heckler Friday, asking if the officer would kill him like Ma'Khia Bryant. I'll just play the little video here. Listen carefully.
Oh, y'all gonna kill me like Ma'Khia Bryant? Fuck.
Are you gonna stab somebody like her?
No, okay. She called y'all for help. Fuck is you talking about? Get your goofy ass. And you just said that on camera. This shit going viral.
Now. He says, "Are you gonna kill me like Ma'Khia Bryant? Fuck." The officer savagely responded by saying, "Are you gonna stab somebody like her?" The video had 200,000 views on Twitter, but I don't think it got the response I think this guy thought he's gonna get. He more ratio than, that more people are applauding the officer, not him. He thinks, oh, this is going viral. Yeah, it went viral, not for the reason he thought. Anyway, pretty savage response there. Now, I'm going to touch base on a few more articles. Like I said, this is going to be a short show, so I'm going to kind of go through these kind of quick just to get it done and have it on the internets by 10 o'clock tonight, because it's taken me a while to... Actually, I got to be honest. This morning when I was fiddling around with D-Live, I had a lot of problems, so I'm actually recording this in the afternoon. I said the morning night live, but it's not in the morning. It's not the morning. It's hard to tell when you're in the studio, right? You just can't tell. Anyway, let's move on. Now, this is an interesting confession, and I don't know if this is going to have any effect when they get to the appeal on this particular on the Chauvin case, him being convicted on all 3 charges. But this one of the jurors who was an alternate juror, and this is the one who happened to live in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. And she was dismissed before the deliberations because they didn't need the alternate. But this gets into the mindset of what the jurors were thinking. Even if one juror's thinking it, I'm sure there's more than one who's thinking this. So this juror has a stunning confession that she was worried about rioting and destruction and people coming to her house after the verdict. Now, especially where she lives, Brooklyn Center, and someone already said that one of the jurors was from Brooklyn Center. Thank you, CBS News, who was doing a profile on the jurors. Like, you don't do a profile. There's in the biggest case, you don't even hint where they might live, but they did with this woman. An alternate juror who sat in on the trial for former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin said that she worried about future rioting and destruction and even personal harm if the jury did not agree to a guilty verdict. Anyone wonder why they made this verdict so quickly? It didn't make sense at all. Anyway, and granted, remember, caveat, I think the 3rd charge, they got it right, but I think the first 2, they got it wrong. But I think he was guilty of the manslaughter charge. The felony murder, you have to prove the underlying felony assault, and I don't think they did that. There's plenty of reasonable doubt for that, and also plenty of reasonable doubt for the complete cause of death. Anyway, why, when asked by Kara Levin, that's it's the NBC affiliate in the Twin Cities, reporter, if she wanted to be a juror, Juror 96, Lisa Christensen, said she had mixed feelings due to the threat of social unrest that came with the case. There was a question on the questionnaire about it, and I don't know. The reason is that at the time I did not know what the outcome was going to be, so I felt like either way you're going to disappoint one group or the other. I did not want to go through rioting and destruction again, and I was concerned about people coming to my house if they were not happy with the verdict, she explained in an interview Thursday. Well, yeah, I'd be concerned if my house could be burnt down, and with me in it. Christensen, who was dismissed by Judge Peter Cahill as an alternate on Monday, also admitted that while she liked the transparency that came with a televised trial, it made the 3-week period more intense. She also claimed the rioting that occurred in her town of Brooklyn Center during the trial did not affect her approach to conviction, but did keep her from getting home one night. Really? If you had to go home through that shit and didn't make it home one night because of it, you think that not guilty on any of the charges would affect your life? Are you kidding me? Anyway, it did not impact me as far as the trial went. However, only being about 6 blocks from the police department, I could hear everything, Christensen said. When I came home, I could hear the helicopters flying over my house. I could hear the flashbangs going off. If I stepped outside, I could see the smoke from the grenades. One day, the trial ran a little late, and I had trouble getting to my house because the protesters were blocking the interstate, so I had to go a way around. I was aware, but it did not affect me at all. And she is a much stronger human being than anyone else on the planet. Christensen's confessions follows concerns that Democrat Representative Maxine Waters called to violence if the trial did not result in a guilty conviction could influence the jury's verdict. Judge Cahill said the Democrat is charged rhetoric could be grounds for a possible appeal. And you know what he said. Anyway, that has to be on the minds of every juror when they leave the courtroom every day and there's protesters out there. They're seeing this stuff for Dante. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on Dante's whatever his name who got shot in Brooklyn Center. The idea that didn't affect them, the change of venue request is an issue. But here's my prediction. My prediction is that the appeal will go nowhere. I'm predicting that right now. The appeal is going nowhere. The judges in this state are all elected. They are all Democrats. And, well, not all. I mean, I shouldn't say all. But who's going to be the judge that isn't thinking in the back of his mind right now? Any judge, any appeals court judge who gets this particular case, if it's going to take a brave judge, I got to tell you, from the period, but how would you like to be the appeals judge that overturns any of the charges in this case or makes it go back to another trial? Who wants to be that judge after you see what's happening in the city? And the fact that there wasn't extensive writing after the guilty verdicts. But you know damn well, had that not been the same, had those been not, any of those 3 charges were not guilty. Ooh, Lord, what's it going to look like in this town? You know it in the back of any judge's mind. Now, a judge who's immensely brave, maybe they'll just, a judge who's immensely brave could have the fortitude to say, you know what, there's some things here that from a legal standpoint did not give this man a fair trial, and maybe we need to send it back to a new jury. That would have to be pretty brave to do, but there certainly could be there's grounds for that, right? All right. So anyway, all right. Let's keep it going. I gotta get done. Gotta get it done. Let's see what's this one. Oh, and just another day in protest world. Protesters block traffic and confront police in New York City. New York City. Don't say it. Don't say it. You know what you want to say. Don't say it right now. Do not say it. Protesters reportedly blocked traffic and confronted police officers Saturday on the Manhattan side of the Brooklyn Bridge, according to the New York Post. 6 cops were seen corralling one man with his hands behind his back at the Manhattan mouth of the bridge from about 10:30 p.m., the outlet said. In video footage of the incident, the man appeared to claim an officer was breaking his finger, and another person out of the frame asked why they were being arrested while officers worked to disperse protesters moving from the bridge onto Center Street. Demonstrators crossed the bridge by walking on the Manhattan-bound roadway. Around a half a dozen of them received appearance tickets for obstruction of vehicular traffic, police told the Post, adding no injuries were reported following the incident. Photographer Leroy Johnson shared a video footage of what appeared to be officers pushing protesters back with their bicycles and another clip of police standing outside City Hall as protesters chanted. According to the authorities, several protesters were arrested Thursday following a clash with officers who were near the southeast corner of Central Park. Pix 11 reported before the incident occurred. Police tweeted video of graffiti what seemed to be red paint splashed across the USS Marine National Monument in Columbus Circle. So they put out this video. Come on, get up here. They put out this video of the memorial or being vandalized with paint and graffiti. So the police said, "We respect everyone's right to peacefully protest, but vandalism was not part of a peaceful protest. We are working to de-escalate the situation to prevent further damage from occurring." The Post read, police said 6 individuals were arrested for assault and damage to public property, but details of the charges were not immediately known. The Pix 11 article continued. So, and then they had an article here of a large group of demonstrators telling the officers to quit their jobs, which is another new chant that they get at a lot of these rallies where the police have to say, hey, we're not doing that here. Let's stop. No violence. Stay in there. You can have your protest, but don't start breaking shit and you know what I mean. All right. Maxine Waters is back. And she's blasting her critics for getting mad at her rhetoric when police keep killing us. She is defiant. Representative Maxine Waters on Saturday lashed out at critics who criticized her for her incendiary rhetoric and suggested that people are angry at black people no matter what they do. No. 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 Stop pretending you speak for all black people. Auntie Maxine, you don't speak for me. If we take a knee, they're mad. If we speak up like I do, they're mad. No, you said some incendiary shit. If we protest like Martin Luther King Jr. taught us to do, they're mad. No, no, because you missed something there. They're not mad at the protest. In fact, I encourage protesting. If you want to protest all you want, but just don't break my shit. I didn't hurt you. I didn't do anything to you. And you know what? You can, the more protesters, the merrier. But when you destroy, it's not you. I'm not even saying you, Representative Waters, but it's the aftermath of the protest part where the opportunists come out and start breaking shit. That's not okay. Or killing people. That's even worse. If you call that the remedy, well, that remedy is worse than the disease. Okay? We need to make police accountable. That's okay for things that they do wrong. And we also need to admit when they do things right. Micaiah, remember Micaiah? There's still people out there saying he shouldn't have shot her. When she's about to stab somebody, she would have killed that girl. Look, they're just in the same week. A 13-year-old stabbed another 13-year-old to death in the same state. Knives are dangerous. 4 times as many people are killed by knives in this country than by rifles. Oh, that very scary looking black assault weapon. Again, I'm going to say it again. 4 times as many people are killed with knives than rifles. Just saying. So that's a tweet. If we take a knee, they're mad. If we speak up like I do, they're mad. If we protest like Martin Luther King taught us to do, they're mad. What is it they expect us to do when police keep killing us? Well, that's the amplification of singular events that fit the narrative. So then they just get into details about what she said in Brooklyn Center. It is, and then she tweets again, it's our unfortunate reality that driving while black, running while black, walking while black, bird watching while black, quite frankly, doing anything that any other person could do, but doing it while black often ends in death. I don't know about the bird watching one. Is she talking about the guy in New York the Karen called on him about his dogs or something, or him touching her dogs? No. Oh, and then she hashtags Dante Wright. Did Dante Wright have any culpability in his demise? Not that he should be dead. I don't think the young man should be dead. But boy, oh boy, did that kid just, because he was completely cooperative. He just, he got me, put his hand back and just went away with the cops. Oh no, he fought the cops. And then, the dumb other cop, black taser, black gun, can't tell the difference. Rest in peace, Dante Wright. But the idea that Dante Wright was a saint that did nothing wrong, didn't contribute to his own demise. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, there it is. I swore. I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, all right, let's finish it up. Let me get rid of Ace here. All right, there's a whole bunch of articles. Just here's what you get in the tabs, because I'm not going to get to them all. Big Tech donated $7.5 million to BLM co-founders groups. Not just BLM, but her groups, because remember, she said that she only took so much money from BLM, barely took any money as BLM as salary, but she sure had enough to buy 4 houses for $3.6 million. Anyway, the cozy relationship has even seen Facebook and Twitter censor perceived criticism of colors. That's the thing. Not only you can read the article, but they donate tons of money to her. But then they also like, I'll just say the word, discourage criticism of the founder when, you know, they kind of, what do they call it? Shadow ban. They kind of shadow ban stuff when they're talking about Patrisse Cullors. Anyway, there's another article there. But anyway, you can read about that. Also, now, speaking of, I don't know if this is grifting. This is like government-sponsored, I don't know what to call this. Kamala Harris's children's book is being distributed to illegal alien children detained by the Biden administration. Remember we were talking about this, that they said that they were going to be distributing copies of her book to some of these illegal. There she is. Can you hear her laughing just looking at that picture? Can you hear her laughing right now? Anyway, ever wonder what amazing things your tax dollars finance? Wonder no more. Apparently, taxpayers are footing the bill for the distribution of Kamala Harris's children's book that is being distributed to illegal alien children held in substandard humanitarian conditions. I hope they can read. Anyway, nothing says welcome to the Harris Biden America quite like a taxpayer-subsidized copy of Harris's children's book being read while being held in Biden's cages. Anyway, here it is. From the is this from the headline from the New York Post? Or no? Yeah. Come on. Unaccompanied migrant children brought to a shelter in Long Beach, California, will be each given a copy of Kamala Harris's children's book, Superheroes Are Everywhere, as a welcome gift. So our U.S. government is buying her book, making her, there's got to be, they talk about the emoluments clause. I don't know if this fits under that, though. That's foreign leaders giving money and gifts. That's just grift. That's some grift. Now, maybe, just maybe, the proceeds from these purchased books goes to something other than Kamala Harris's bank account. I don't know. You'd almost think it would have to be. Holy shit. Vice President Kamala Harris may not be going to the border to greet migrant children, but a children's book she wrote in 2019 is. Harris's children's book, Superheroes Are Everywhere, is included in a welcome pack for migrant children. What? A welcome pack? Is this like they're inviting them to the Academy Awards? They get a little swag bag when they come to the U.S. A welcome pack for migrant children arriving at the Long Beach Convention and Entertainment Center, a recently converted influx facility, along with basic hygiene supplies and clothing, photographs show. A White House official told Fox News Harris wasn't aware of the welcome packs. Wouldn't she wonder why the sales of her books were going up so quick? Good Lord. And that these kinds of efforts are usually organized by members of the community. Oh, okay. So maybe the people, but still, I don't care. So people in the community are making the welcome packs, little swag bags for these little kids whose parents send them on 1,000-mile journeys on their own. Oh, look at here. They get a book from the Vice President of the United States. Holy crap. The community determined that Harris's book was super important and stuff. Sure, that's it. Here's my deed to the Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm going to sell it to you. All right, let's finish this up because I got to go pick up some food for my lovely bride. Biden's first 100 days. Biden's first 100 days polling convinced him his agenda does not have a mandate. On Sunday morning, the media talking heads were touting President Joe Biden's approval rating after 100 days in office, citing polls from NBC and ABC Washington Post. Both polls found that Biden's approval sits at 52%, which the commenters pointed out is 10 points higher than Donald Trump's at the same milestone of his presidency. However, as the Washington Examiner's Brian York pointed out, Biden's approval is the third lowest president since Harry Truman. Only President Trump and President Gerald Ford scored lower. Both of them had the media united against them, and Biden has received nothing but air cover and glowing coverage from the corporate media. Further, when you examine the poll detail, NBC surveyed American adults. It broke out some results between registered voters and non-registered respondents. Biden's approval was 51% in this population, and his disapproval was at 43%. In the ABC poll of American adults, the disapproval rating was at 42%. The only president with a higher disapproval rating going back to President Truman was President Trump. And the media was constantly berating you with anti-Trump rhetoric. Anyway, that was my own aside. The margin of error for ABC's poll and the measure of registered voter responses from NBC was 3.5%, meaning there could be a much narrow difference between those who approve and disapprove. So if you want to read more about the poll, great, it's here, but like I said, I'm out of time. More Kamala Harris news real quickly here. I hope you're hanging in here if you're watching the video. The nice thing is I'm getting through the news a lot faster, but I miss you guys. I want you there, not there, but that's okay. Let's see. Okay, this is just another one of those examples where Kamala Harris has a weird propensity to just laugh at shit randomly. Here, I'll put this so you can put it on the screen. So I'm just going to show you the video. No, it's when it's okay. Tell me if you notice something, if there's anything funny about when she laughs right here. It's weird.
I think it is important to look at folks like Haley and Kelly and also say we're going to take note of the fact that during the pandemic, over 2 million people, 2 million women people
What's she laughing at?
became unemployed.
Listen to this again.
I think it is important to look at folks like Haley.
She just is ecstatic about what she's about to say. She's just in stitches.
And Kelly, and also say we're going to take note of the fact that during the pandemic, over 2 million people, 2 million women people became
unemployed. Woo! Yeah, we're excited about how 2 million women became unemployed. I don't understand this woman. Now, granted, that clip, it's a clip, and it could be clipped to make her look bad. I'm just saying, it's weird when she decides to laugh about things. She laughs about the dumbest things and just out of place. All right, let's see. I have a bunch of articles, but I'm only going to hit one. Dr. Fauci flip-flop, add to the list. Oh, yeah, oh, good God. I am going to do this one real quick, and then I'm going to stop for the day because I got to go. But, so, another Fauci flip-flop. By the way, resist Faucism. For many months now, Dr. Anthony Fauci has advocated that people remain masked outdoors to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Stupid 19. When you are indoors, make sure you have a mask. When you're outdoors, keep the mask on, he said back in August, though he acknowledged that being outdoors was significantly safer than being indoors. Now Fauci's saying that he believes the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will provide updated guidance on wearing face masks outdoors and says it's common sense to reconsider that guidance. Well, you know what? Here, all right, now I picked this article out, and I think maybe I could have just not done it. Okay, at least he's acknowledging that we can finally say that it's it's a possibility that we can get rid of the mask and things change. So I get it, but still. I'll call it science, but I'll take it. Yeah, it's just science, not just common sense. No, it's science and data proves that you can take the mask off outdoors. But anyway, Fauci also concedes that the risk of contracting stupid 19 while engaged in outdoor activities is minuscule. Oh my gosh, about time. What I believe is you're going to be hearing, what the country is going to be hearing soon, is updated guidelines from the CDC, Fauci said on ABC's This Week. The CDC is a science-based organization. They don't want to make any guidelines unless they look at the data, and the data backs it up. The data's been backing it up for a long time. If you look at Florida, Texas, and southern states that don't have as many restrictions as y'all do. Notice I threw in a y'all there because I was talking about the southern states. You hear that? Anyway, but when you look around at the common sense situation, the risk is really low, especially if you're vaccinated. You think? Why did it take so long to figure this out? And then they just do some his credibility from the past. Let me see how close I got to his voice here. Oh, God, just...
argument that we take safety really very seriously.
The argument that we take safety very seriously. Is that close? I don't know. You'll have to tell me in the comment section. By the way, put a comment in the comment section because I'm not here to see you chat right over there. I miss you already. Hopefully I'll get this back tomorrow. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of other articles in the tabs, but I'm going to call it a day, people, because I have stuff that I got to do. I will be broadcasting, though, on D Live Monday through Friday, except for this Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT, until I get my channel fully reinstated, which I don't know how that... This process is maddening because YouTube deals with so many people that there's no one I can talk to, and this website that I'm supposed to be finding a contact for, I don't even know if anyone reads the freaking email that they have. Hopefully they do. I'm gonna keep trying. Hopefully they'll take this strike away and just come on. You're hindering me. I would if the roles were reversed, I would at least give you an opportunity to remedy it and not hinder your business. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm just gonna play it through until we get this fixed. Anyway, people, if you're watching this deep into the video, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you. But time for me to stop what I'm doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. Okay, little homage to Humpty Hump. From the Digital Underground passed away last weekend. So rest in peace, Humpty Hump. And on that note, time to go. Thank you for watching this. Put a comment in the comment section if you got anything you want to talk about. I gotta go. My name is PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.